there's one thing that I heard you say, and for me this was so beautiful and so delicate that I'm almost reluctant to ask you if you can expand.
In case I don't do it right this time.
No, but I think it's just because what you said was so concise that maybe it can't be expanded upon. But what you said was, when we hear a person's true self, that person disappears. And I'm pretty sure you said that in the context of music. I'm also equally sure it applies to other aspects of life.
Yes, I'm sure it does. That's where I see it, because that's where my experience is in music. And I think I didn't say, what was the word, the adjective with self, true self?
Yes.
Don't believe I quite said that.
I'm happy to be corrected.
No, it's all right. That's all right. But because I'm working just now with a student who is in a great hurry, as they often are, because this is how we're trained. You've got to get that ready for next Thursday. Everything's in a hurry. And you don't hear him yet. Right. He's doing the notes and himself is not there. And you need to have a bit of self. Every now it comes, and then it comes. And as I watch him, when there's a bit of self, suddenly he grows to twice the size. He's to be considered. When I see a bit of self in it, and then the self disappears because he comes to a difficult bit and fumble, we go. And then every now and then a little bit of self appears. And one time, a year or two ago, when I was working with him, he suddenly played a very short bit, possibly 3 seconds, 1, 2, perhaps 4 seconds, so beautifully that we were both stunned. And the next day I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, it wasn't me playing." And at that exact moment, I had thought, there he is, that's him. Wonderful. That's exactly what I mean. When he was absent, that was him playing. The idea is to be absent and let the music do it.
You've met my challenge because you have expanded on it, and that's...
Is what?
You have met my challenge because you have expanded on it.
Yeah.
And
well, with an example for one thing, but the first time that this really struck me was listening to Casals. This is also in my book, recording the Schumann concerto, and we were in the old ruined abbey, and the floor was covered with gravel, and so there shouldn't be any gravelly noises. All the listeners were shooed out of the building. And I went round the back, up the hill, and I found a high window, which was sort of, the building was embedded in the rock. I got this high window, and I looked right down. I could look down, and I preferred to look out on the landscape and listen, because there was no glass in that window. And then it was so wonderfully beautiful that I looked in, and I saw the orchestra, and I saw the conductor, and I saw the cello. And for a moment I couldn't see the player. And I thought, yes, that's it. He needs to be absent. And that he's like the pipe through which Schumann, as it happened, is speaking. And our job is to keep the pipe so clean and clear that the composer can come through without any presence of without any interference. I was going to say presence of ourselves, but that's not what I mean. No. Without any interference.
Do you think we are only capable of that for moments or even long moments?
Well, some people are capable of it. Very, very few are capable of it for quite long moments. Certainly. You mean capable of recognizing it or actually offering?
I'm interested in both, but my question was about being absent and present, whatever the vocabulary is that we're going to use. Because I'm unsure as to whether, at least in our culture, we can educate ourselves to do that or be that in a sustained way, or whether we can only provide moments of it.
Well, if you can provide moments of it, that's a start. But with this young man, I've worked very, very, very hard with him. And that moment was a tremendous leap forward. But it's not sustainable at that level. Right. We hope it'll happen again, And my perception of Casals' absence was only momentary didn't mean that he then became present again. It means that I saw what it's about in that moment. It was a revelation moment.